I heard I need to wait until I have 30 years to get my full pension. Is that true?
Well, no. There's no such thing as a full pension. Pensions are based on multiple factors, and there's no point where you wouldn't get a larger pension if you worked longer. What you're going to get as a pension is based on your final average salary times years of service times your benefit multiplier. Even if you're eligible for a pension now, you would have a higher pension if you kept working for a year.
Okay, what kind of pension should I expect as I'm making around $100,000 a year now?
So whatever your final average salary is when you retire, you are not going to continue to receive that same amount in retirement. Instead, you'll see a percentage of that final average salary based on your years of service. A minimum of 5 years is required to collect any pension, and each additional year will mean a slightly larger percentage of that final average salary will be paid to you as a monthly lifetime pension benefit. The specifics depend on your tier, so let's start with the example of Tier 4. I myself am a Tier 4 member. I started with the DOE in 2007, and in July of 2025, I'll have 18 years of service. As a Tier 4 member, I earn 1.67% for each of those 18 years. So collectively, I've earned 30% of my final average salary as a pension. That's not bad, but I'd really like to get at least 2 more years in. Because once I hit 20 years, the benefit multiplier goes from 1.67% to 2%. So leaving at 19 years and 11 months would mean I'd receive 33% of my final average salary as a pension. While getting 1 more month in changes that number to 40%.
So you're going to wait 2 more years and then retire with 20 years, I guess?
No, I'm not going to be old enough. I can't collect a pension until I'm 55, so I've got a few years to go. I plan to keep working until then, at which point I should have 31 years.
So, you will get 62% of your final average salary instead of 40%?
Close. Once you have 20 years, you get 2% for each year worked, up to 30 years of service. But all service above 30 years is only gaining you an extra 1.5% of your final average salary as a pension. So for me, my number should be 61.5%.
So I already have 20 years and I just turned 55. So I can retire now with 40% of my final average salary?
Well, there's one more thing. 55 is technically early retirement. You can do it, but if you don't have enough years of service, the pension is reduced. So whatever your unreduced pension would have been, it's going to be reduced by 27% because you're 55 and not 62. But you can avoid this reduction for early retirement if you have enough years of service. Anywhere from 25 to 30 years is required to avoid the early retirement reduction, depending on your Tier 4 plan.
So I started in the fall of 2012, and I am in Tier 6. When can I retire?
So you can retire at age 55, but there's no Tier 6 plan to avoid the early retirement penalty yet. And for Tier 6 plan, that penalty is pretty high. The state has set the penalty at 52% reduction at age 55, going down 6.5% a year until you reach no reduction at 63.
I didn't realize that. Is there any way to change that?
That is one of the top priorities of the UFT right now. This is state law, so it's not something we can negotiate for with the city. But this is what we are using COPE funds to try and fix. You can join the UFT Fix 6 campaign and sign up for COPE if you haven't already.
Is there any chance this will change?
Absolutely. There have already been victories for the Fix 6 campaign on final average salary. And in the past, the UFT has been able to get early retirement options like 55-25 through Albany.
So, putting aside the penalty for early retirement, what percentage of my final average salary will I receive for my pension, assuming I retire without the penalty?
So, it's a lot like Tier 4, where there's an incentive to hit 20 years of service. If you have under 20 years of service, you'll get credit for 1 2/3% for each year you worked. So at 10 years of credited service, you'd have 16.67% of your final average salary. There's a little bit of a bonus for hitting 20 years, where you essentially get credit for an extra year and make an even 35% instead of 33.33. And then after 20 years, every year earns you an extra 2%. And unlike Tier 4, this extra 2% for years after 20 doesn't go away at 30 years. It's important to get credit for all your years of service. Please check your service credit on your annual benefits statement to ensure you're credited for all your years of work. If you have service to buy back, the sooner you do so, the better. Schedule a pension consultation with the UFT so you can know what to expect in retirement. And remember, an active union is a strong union.
This video should not be solely relied upon as it is based on currently available information that is subject to change. In all cases, the specific provisions of the governing law, contractual agreements, rules and regulations prevail.